Hello students, it is my another lecture for class 10th. In our previous lecture we study the chapter first, life process. In previous video in this chapter we study about the nutrition in plants. We study the various types of process of nutrition, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. We study the nutrition in human. Finally, in nutrition, we know that the food material, food which is digested in by the digestive system, transported by the blood vascular system in various part of the body, in tissue and into the cell. Now the question is that how to get energy from food. How to get energy from food? So the answer is respiration. So respiration is the process of getting energy from the food material. It can be processed. Processed with the help of oxygen, or with the help of oxygen, or without the help of oxygen. So according to the definition, respiration, definition of respiration is the process of oxidation organic compound C6H12, it means glucose, in presence or absence of absence of oxygen, which gives energy, and CO2 and H2O as byproduct. Okay, process of oxidation of organic compound, basically glucose, in presence or absence of oxygen, which gives energy, and CO2 H2O as byproduct. CO2 and H2O release as a byproduct. So according to the definition, respiration can be divided in two categories. First is aerobic respiration, and second is anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is the process in which oxygen is used, or oxygen is necessary, or this reaction takes place in presence of oxygen. And on the other hand, anaerobic respiration, there is no need of oxygen, means this process, anaerobic respiration, takes place in absence of oxygen. Okay, now study the aerobic respiration. First of all, we study the anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. Through the anaerobic respiration, basically microorganism get energy and sometime in emergency condition, skeletal muscles of higher animals also get energy with the help of anaerobic respiration. How do they get energy by the anaerobic respiration? In microorganisms like bacteria and yeast. In bacteria, glucose C6H12O6. In example, yeast, it converted into ethyl alcohol. Formula is C2H5OH. Two molecules are produced, plus carbon dioxide, oxide, CO2, plus 2 ATP molecule are produced, which are similar to about 34 kilo calorie. Okay. Now, sometime in skeletal muscles, C6H12O6 in skeletal muscles. In skeletal muscles, or some also in parasites, it is converted into lactic acid. The formula is CH3CHOH plus energy. It is equal to 2 ATP molecule, similar to 34 kilocalorie. Okay. Now we study the aerobic respiration. That takes place in higher organism. In higher organism, the anaerobic respiration takes place only in emergency condition in skeletal muscles. In aerobic respiration takes place in higher organism. What is the process of aerobic respiration? Is C6H12O6. There is a need of oxygen, as we studied earlier, that C6H12O6 plus 6O2, 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus 38 ATP molecule, that is equivalent to 686 kilocalorie. Here is a big difference. Big difference is that a high amount of energy produced during the aerobic respiration. In comparative, on the other hand, in anaerobic respiration, there is a small amount of energy, about 34 kilocalorie only produced. So this is the another one big difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. First difference, there is no need of oxygen. Another, high amount of energy is produced. Third difference, that anaerobic respiration takes place in microorganism, and the aerobic respiration in higher organism. Now we study the process of respiration, both in aerobic condition or anaerobic condition. Process of respiration basically it is complete in 3 steps. Number 1, glycolysis. Second, Krebs cycle. And third, ETS, that is electron transport system. The first process, that is glycolysis, takes place in the glycolysis is similar in aerobic condition and anaerobic condition. The product which is produced by the glucose during the glycolysis, by the glucose glycolysis, the product of glycolysis is pyruvate. Two molecules of pyruvates. One molecule of glucose gives two molecules of pyruvate by the process of glycolysis. This reaction is similar in aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. This reaction takes place in cytoplasm, and there is no need of oxygen. Okay. The next process, Krebs cycle and ETS. This reaction takes place in mitochondria. Reaction takes place in mitochondria. And this reaction needs oxygen. So the oxygen that you breathe is used during the aerobic respiration inside the mitochondria. And in microorganisms, you know that most of the cell organelles are absent, like mitochondria is not present. That's why there is no need of oxygen during the anaerobic respiration. Now we study how the animal or animals, plants, microorganism, means all the organism, how to get oxygen inside their inside the cell. How to get oxygen from environment. Okay. So in microorganism, just like amoeba, amoeba, these organisms get the energy from the environment simply diffusion process. Okay. And plants absorb oxygen from the environment with the help of stomata. Okay, simply through the stomatal pore they absorb oxygen for respiration from the environment. But the important thing is that during the daytime, the carbon dioxide which is evolved during the respiration, carbon dioxide evolved by the process of respiration, is used in photosynthesis. photosynthesis. That's why CO2 is not evolved during the daytime. And in night only, in night time, CO2, carbon dioxide is evolved. Okay, only in night time carbon dioxide is evolved. During the daytime, carbon dioxide used in photosynthesis. An aquatic animal, in aquatic aquatic animals, in aquatic animals, simply get they get oxygen by the process of diffusion, by the process of diffusion. And in terrestrial animals, in aquatic animals, oxygen get by the process of diffusion, and there is specialized organ are present which are called gills. Gills takes part in the process of diffusion. They continuously come in the contact of uh, water and absorb oxygen which is dissolved oxygen. They continuously absorb dissolved oxygen from the water by the process of diffusion. In terrestrial animals, uh, they cannot absorb oxygen with the process of diffusion, so they need large surface area for oxygen diffusion, and that's why they develop a specialized respiratory system. Specialized respiratory system. Okay, these respiratory system specifically in humans, in higher, specifically in higher or animals, like lungs, some other